Hello, I am Jamie Buckland with the West Virginia FUE, West Virginia Families United for Education, and I'm talking today with Angie from Mountaineer Homeschool Hub. So I'm going to give her the chance to tell you all a little bit about herself and what led up to them starting the Mountaineer Homeschool Hub. Go ahead, Angie.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Angie Channell. I'm the founder of the Mountaineer Homeschool Hub. We are a homeschool enrichment center. We offer classes, activities, and events to pretty much any registered homeschooler willing to drive to Morgantown. Strangely enough, there are a lot of people willing to drive to Morgantown. We do just a huge variety of things. Just been my dream for years to do something that was similar to a co-op, but where the parents didn't have to be as involved. That was one of the things that I wasn't interested in during my homeschooling journey with my son. So what we decided to do was make it essentially an a la carte program. We offer 4 6-week sessions a year and up to 10 different classes in each session. And a parent can sign their child up for just one class, they can sign their child up for all 10 classes, or they can sit out a session. There's no requirements that they have to be there at a particular time or a particular amount of time. And there are no requirements that they have to do anything other than pay for the classes.
I love that. I love that. Now, how long have you been homeschooling and is your son graduated?
Yes, we started homeschooling in 2011. My son was in public school and unfortunately been bullied. So he asked us to homeschool him. He went back, and that was second grade. He went back for seventh grade, and eighth grade, he decided that he wanted to come back and finish out his education as a homeschooler. Yeah, he graduated last spring, and he took a gap year. He'll be starting at WU in the fall, and it's been a very wild journey. We started the hub in 2019. Officially, we just did some general kind of easy things that fall and winter. Started with our very first session in February of 2020, and then COVID hit and everything shut down, and we were faced with a choice of closing, just ending it all, or what else could we do? Luckily, we received a grant. We bought a party tent and we took our classes and everything outside. So we were very lucky. COVID was horrible, but for the hub, it was kind of a blessing because we were able to provide something that absolutely nobody else in our area could provide.
Well, I love that. And it just speaks to the nature of being a homeschooling mother. We excel with flexibility. So it's like, well, this happened. What is plan B? I have a friend who says it's not it's not if your day is going to fall apart as a homeschooler. It's like, when is it going to fall apart? Because something is going to happen. So I love that you guys were flexible and able to meet the needs of your students. So you guys are looking to now serve Hope Scholars who are going to be under that IIP, the Individualized Instructional Program. So for those of you who are watching who are learning about the Hope Scholarship opportunity here in West Virginia, you can use it 2 different pathways. One is to enroll in a participating school, a non-public school, or you can choose the IIP, which looks an awful lot like educating at home. And so you'll be able to pick and choose. And so, Angie, tell us about how you all see the hub serving these Hope Scholars.
At first, we were very hesitant, at least I was, because I had that initial, it's not homeschooling, it's taking away from homeschoolers. But then I came around to the thought, based on some influence from certain people, that homeschoolers and homeschool parents pick and choose exactly what path their child's education is going to take. and they use whatever resources are available, whatever resources they feel are appropriate. And I've come to the way of thinking that the Hope Scholarship program is simply a different avenue. It's a different path. It's a different resource. Yes, Hope Scholars, homeschooling is a different exemption from homeschooling. And a lot of people need to remember that, especially when it comes to, the requirements, the assessments and all that. But it does, especially the IIP program, doesn't have to look any different than what has been typically considered to be homeschooling.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
we're happy to be able to provide a different resource, a different path for parents that are, for students that are eligible for the program.
Yeah. And so, what will you guys offer, let's say, for high schoolers? What are some examples of courses that you offer for high school students?
So we've had a little bit of trouble breaking into the upper ages market.
Okay.
The majority of our kids are 12 and under, but we do a teen group. And I tell the kids and I tell the parents, anything that the kids are interested in, we'll try to offer. We don't do stereotypical, American literature or whatever. My motto is, if I don't want to teach the class, if I wouldn't want to take the class, we're not doing the class. So we like to do fun, quirky, interesting classes that you wouldn't get in public schools. But to be very, very honest, if a high school student would come in and say, I'd like to take a class on Shakespeare musicals, I'd be like, okay, cool, get some friends and we'll do it. So,
Yeah.
we're flexible.
I saw that you guys had a student who maybe was at the hub that's a photographer. Did I see that? That there was a photography opportunity. So I'm just wondering, is there an opportunity that maybe the hub can offer, something like that? If a student is interested in a field, there's probably opportunity for you guys to partner with a parent to offer some type of enrichment like that for those older kids.
Exactly. One of our parents, actually a couple of our parents are photographers. They do photography around Morgantown. Our families, our parents, not even just the member families, but just in general, are such an eclectic mix. We've got photographers, we've got bakers, we've got school teachers, we've got Board of Education members that are our parents. The current assistant or the deputy mayor of Morgantown is one of our parents. So we have a huge amount of resources that we can tap into, either for input or suggestions, or to even come in and talk. But, in regards to high schoolers, it's simply the fact that I had a high schooler.
Right.
They get into their lane and they're like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So there's opportunity to grow the high school program. Now, do you guys serve preschoolers, or do you need to be kindergarten age?
We are ages 5 and up. We don't have the personnel that is able to instruct the younger ages. Now, that's not to say that those kids don't come, because typically what happens, parents bring their kids for the classes. We have a parents' room downstairs, and the kids and the younger kids and their parents hang out in those rooms. And a lot of the kids, even if they're not doing classes, they'll be downstairs doing their schoolwork. So, their brother or sister might be in class upstairs while they're downstairs doing, whatever it is that mom told them they had to do right then.
And tell us where you all meet, because I've been to your facility and I love it.
Okay. So we meet in Morgantown, West Virginia, in the Woodburn neighborhood. It is the former Woodburn Elementary, and I tend to gush because I absolutely love that building. Like I said, it is the former Woodburn Elementary. It was built in 1915, and just the whole history of the building. It's so cool. It's so welcoming. It's a little bit haunted, but it's the perfect place. We have a large 25 by 25 classroom. Then we've got 2 rooms in the lower level, in the basement, where we've got a parents' meeting room, and that's also the site of our lending library, which we have books for all 5 of the required subjects that West Virginia requires. But then we also have game schooling. We have board games for that. We have supplies for maker labs, maker spaces. We've got foreign language, music, art. So we really have a lot down there.
Well, you guys really are the homeschool hub. I love
Yes.
it. It's true. It's true to your name.
Well, that was, and if you look at our logo, I mean, that was my dream, was that it was a place that like I said, any homeschooler willing to come to Morgantown could come in and try, be able to get everything, a little bit of everything. And like with our classes, what we try to do is incorporate all 5 of the required subjects. So, for example, we're doing America's monuments and the secrets behind them, because America's monuments is just kind of boring. But, we do reading each week. We've got the videos. We talk about, the measurements and the math that went into it, and the costs, locations. So, reading, language arts, math, science, social studies, all of that may not be covered every single week, but it is incorporated into each class overall.
Wonderful. And now you guys were also a VALA grantee, right? VALA. I don't know how they pronounce it, but I say VALA.
I think it's Bella.
VALA, okay.
Yeah.
And so tell me about that opportunity. How did that help serve your community?
Well, they've been with us, strangely enough, since the beginning. They had partnered with HSLDA to offer the Meet the Moment grant, and we applied, and we got money, and that's what we used to buy our party tent with. So
awesome!
Yeah,
that is so neat.
Yeah, and then when they had announced their next round of grants, we applied and received one in order to expand or expand our art lab and our maker lab. So
Wonderful.
Yeah, and fingers crossed, we've got there's another series of grants coming around. So we've applied for that. If we receive that grant, we are going to expand our e-lab, our computer lab, and start offering higher technological items. Not even going to say some of the different things. Don't want to spoil it, but it will be super cool.
Fingers crossed, because these are the things that when you're not enrolled full-time in a school, some of those resources, they just feel out of reach. And I feel like Hope Scholarship is a vehicle to help us bring those resources to the table. And then opportunities like these grants that we're talking about, this is another way to bring those opportunities to those who are educating outside of the conventional method, right? The methods that we've all been used to. Well, Angie, thank you so much for taking time to talk with me today. We can go to MountaineerHomeschoolHub.org. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. And that's where we can find out more information about what you all do and how we can become a member family and have access to that library. So is there anything else that we need to know about Mountaineer Homeschool Hub?
Our kids are awesome. Our families are awesome. Actually, one of our selling points is I tend to ask the kids, even the young kids, what classes they want to do. So a lot of the things that we do are specifically because a child has requested it. More than anything, we are simply there to help, support, and to help educate the kids. So that's our big thing.
Thank you. Well, veteran homeschooling moms are such a great resource, and I'm just so thankful your area has you. For
Thank
those
you.
watching, go visit MountaineerHomeschoolHub.org to learn more. And if you have questions about the Hope Scholarship or about the distinctions between that and homeschooling, do reach out. Again, I'm Jamie Buckland with the West Virginia FUE, Families United for Education, and thanks so much for watching.